Hi, this is John with SentientLight.com. In this video, we're going to be covering tips on adjusting power on the function generator app, where to find frequencies. I'll show you different resources that I use where I find different frequencies that I want to put into my PEMF session. Also, I'll show how to read the meters better on your Sentient Element device. So here we got a Sentient Element Classic. All the tips and everything I'm going to say here today will help you whether you have a Sentient Element Classic or the first versions of the Sentient Element. So no matter what, this video should help you understand your machine better. And so we'll go through the basic setup. It's plugged in, the power's on, the fan's on, the amp meter is on, and it will read 0.0 or 0.6, 7 or 8 around there. Also, the voltmeter will read 130, give or take 6 volts. Here it reads 136. On the frequency meter, it's not running because we're not running frequencies through the audio cable. The coil cable is plugged in, and then on the Sentient Element Classic, we have a protect indicator. In this demonstration, I'm only going to use one coil. If you're going to use one coil, make sure it's on the left side, and then also make sure that the coil switch is down on the left side as well. If you're going to use 2 coils, make sure that the coil switch is down on the right side, but if you have it down on the right side with one coil, it's not going to work. Now we're going to see what the meters do when we run frequencies. On my iPad, I have a list of frequencies that I already put in. I found this list of frequencies in electroherbalism.com. It has the Consolidated Annotated Frequency List, the CAFL. And you can look this up on electroherbalism.com. This list is in alphabetical order of diseases, sicknesses, minor illnesses, and right now for this demonstration I'm going to look for muscles. My back muscles are a little bit sore, so I want to find something that will help that. So here, if I can find it, muscle tonic, muscles to relax, muscular dystrophy, and muscular pain and injury. Muscles to relax sounds like a good one. It has the frequencies after it, those frequencies that will help relax my muscles. I'm going to put in 965, 20 hertz, 120, 240, 760, 6.8, 6000, and 304. I've already put those into my function generator. Another really good place to find frequencies that I like to use, I know there's others, is in YouTube. So you can go into YouTube and type in something that you want to look up. What I would say and suggest is typing in Rife frequency. This is a key word in looking up frequencies for healing. I'll type it in here right now, and already we have a list of things that we can use or that we can play for ourselves. And let's click this one, overall inflammation healing, and it's now playing. I'll turn up the volume. Okay, so right now on the frequency meter it's blinking, and that's normal. If the meter doesn't have enough power or has too much power, it will blink like that. This is normal for the Sentient Element to do this. Just know that the frequencies are going out to the coil. Let's do some more exploring. We'll do inflammation. If we go into the descriptions of the video, sometimes they will tell us the frequency that they are running. Again, we know it's running on the machine. Close that out. Whole body inflammation, pain relief. I'm just showing you where you can find the frequencies that they're using in the video. This one's 3.5 hertz. Okay, that's a little low for our machine. Ours, the Sentient Elements, only go down to 7 hertz, so that's something to be aware of. Make sure that it's not below spec. Now let's go back to our function generator app. We have our first frequency is 20 hertz. I'm decreasing the power on this frequency because it's a low frequency, and lower frequencies are high power. And right now it's running. The frequency meter is blinking, and on our amp meter it's 3.2. That's a good range to run your Sentient Element. It's not going to heat up really fast. And so this amplitude bar, I can increase the power Now we're up to 8.5 amps. Okay, we want to stay under 7 amps like it says. And so decrease it around, again, until we get down to around 3.5 amps, 4 amps. And that's a good range. That's where we want to be. I'm going to pause that and run 965, give or take 5 hertz. On the amp meter, it's low, it's 0.9, so we don't have to worry about it overheating. So I'll keep the amplitude at 100%, and now we'll check the next frequency, 120. The amplitude's at 100%. It's running and the amps aren't too high. So let's run 7 hertz. Since it's a really low frequency, I lowered the amplitude already to 22%. And as you can see, it's not running. 22% is actually too high for 7 hertz. So we're going to lower it down to 9%, 8, maybe 5%, and it should turn on. Here it goes. So now it's starting to blink, and we're at 1 amp. So we know 7 hertz is working. 7 hertz is such a low frequency that the amp meter will only go up to around 2 amps before the amplifier starts tripping. So this is a good process of checking each frequency, making sure that you're at the right level. 760 was good, 6000. Again, on the frequency meter, it's only go up to 999. Rest assured, it is running 6000, but the frequency meter is lighting up, and that's the important part. When the frequency lights up on a frequency higher than 1000 hertz, you know that the frequencies are going out to the coil. It becomes a field detector. Now again, let's play a really low frequency, 6.8. The amplitude is at 13%. It's still not coming on, so we are going to lower the amplitude just a little bit more to 5% and see if it comes on. Alright, so now we have 1 amp and the frequency meter is blinking. And this is very normal to see on the machine. Now that we've customized the power for each individual frequency, we can now play all these frequencies in our PEMF healing session. I'm going to note that the frequency meter is going to jump around since we have multiple frequencies going on at one time. Now let's say we wanted to increase the power. On our 20 hertz, we're only at 24%, and let's increase it and see what it does. It only increased it up to 2 amps, and it didn't trip the amplifier. So let's try 7 hertz. We're going to increase the amplitude for that, and we got up to 3 amps, and it tripped the amplifier. So if it quickly blinks on the frequency meter and the amp meter is at 0, we know that that's the amplifier. It's not the protect indicator. The protect indicator is more for overheating. So this is really nice because the amplifier is protecting itself and the longevity of your machine. Now let's see if 6.8 hertz will do the same thing. We'll increase the power and see how high we can get. Alright, so trip the amplifier. We're going to decrease the power and it'll turn back on. We'll increase it to a comfortable range where it won't trip off. Now let's turn off most of these frequencies and just run 2 frequencies. When you run 1 or 2 frequencies, you're going to get a lot more power than you would doing several frequencies. We're doing 20 and 965 and we're up to 6 amps. Now there's a couple ways of decreasing and increasing your power. Let's say if it was higher than 6 amps, you would want to decrease the power with the amplitude, or on the volume buttons on the side of your iPad or iPhone, you can adjust the power as well. So for example, I'll decrease the power down to 2 amps, and then I can increase the power just with the volume buttons up to 6 amps again, and that's full power for just those 2 frequencies. The last thing I'd like to show you on the Function Generator app is the master volume. It's at the bottom of the screen, master volume. And when you increase and decrease it with the buttons, it's changing the master volume. Also, you can increase it and decrease it by scrolling it with your finger, just like you do with the amplitudes. We hope that this video was helpful to you. If you have any other questions or are interested in the purchase of a sentient element, go to sentientlight.com and you can find out more about us, our history, and our products. On the product page, we have the specifications on the element, what it can do and what it's good for. We also have, and there's a chart that compares specs with other PMF devices. If you have any other questions, please go to our contacts page and fill out the form or call us, and we're anxious to help you in any way we can.